All right, I want you to notice that these cushions go in a very specific manner. So that small one goes there, and it has an identical one that goes right there. There's a long one that goes in between. That one's a little bit shorter. That goes right there, and then there's one that's a little bit shorter that goes there. And then these cushions fit very specific in their spots too. Okay, so you can take these, and these actually can kind of store down below because this rail will go right over the top of it. So what I usually do is just kind of store these in a down manner like that. Okay, so under here is where I store this piece of wood, and this is the piece of wood that's going to fit down here on the floor, so that when we slide this in, it doesn't ruin the floor and it rides on that piece of wood. All right, so this is for the poles that hold the beds up. So we're going to have to make sure that this goes outside. This just very easily slides forward and then goes down into that down position, right like that. This is your toolbox. And this toolbox is going to go outside, and there's a storage for it underneath that seating area, but on the outside. So I'm going to set this here. This is to crank it up and crank it down, and this is for your stabilizers. And I'll show you how to do those in a few. So this should be able to sit right down here. And store, and it should be out of the way for the beds to come forward. So we're gonna put this in the down position. So usually we just take these, take the cushions off, and then this part folds down, this one folds down, and then this, a couple of different ways you can do it. This says inside, and that says to the wall. So this will go, whoop, kind of hard to do on your own, but that goes down. Okay, so you want to pull this out of the way for a moment. And then this is how this is where you store this is where you store this. And you can see there's like a little hook thing there, and there's a hook piece down there. So this goes down here, and you lift it up at an angle, and you hook it on there, and then it slides. And then this, usually just put it down in here, and you kind of have to move that, but you set it about there. And then the table, it's got Velcro on it to help kind of keep it in place. And then you can see some lines. There's lines that show you, to kind of keep it level. Okay, so now you just lift this up, push that button in, and you bring this forward. Then this piece, we just slide it and set it there. Also, I want to give you this broom, which we usually keep underneath. There we go. And then these cushions have to come out of the way for a moment. And then same thing up here. we push that button in, and then we just very gently pull on it, comes down, and then we store this right underneath. Get these cushions out of the way. Same thing up here. Push the button in, comes down, and then we store this right underneath the mattress. Okay? All four corners, they're zippers. You have to unzip them, but don't unzip them all the way. Leave about a couple inches up at the top. So your two locks are going to go right in here. Just set that in there. And then the keys that I'll give you will lock that shut. So now the first thing that we want to do is we want to slide this in. So this is Velcro over here on this side. So that unvelcros. Push it in a little bit. Unvelcro. Push it in a little bit. And then usually this one's down, but I didn't put it down just because I was cleaning on it and stuff, but usually that goes down. It just pulls out and slides, and that's where you would level this. So I got to put this one down. So all you have to do is hit your foot down like that, then come down and lock it, pull it down, and slide it into position. So you want to push this in gently, being careful. Lift up here on the handles and slowly roll this in, stopping to make sure you're not getting anything caught. And then continuously, basically that slides in. It's nice and flush. Take this here. I usually use my shoulder and push in. And then all you have to do is lock it down. Same thing over here on this side. Push in. Now, before you push the beds in, you can't do that with this inside. You have to pull this out and make sure it's out of the way of the tracks. In other words, you'll tear into the canvas. So make sure everything's out, just like that. So it doesn't matter what side you start on, but you got to come down underneath and pull your tab. And then also pull on these. Okay, so now we're going to push these in. Once again, you want to make sure that the canvas is out of the way of getting caught when you're pushing it in. Underneath here, I use my back to push up and take out this support bar and that support bar. In order to get that support bar out, we have to push this all the way in, and we want to do it very carefully so we're not snagging anything. Stopping every so often to double check your canvas. Continuously pushing all the way back in so you can get these out. Now this has to go back inside the camper. But before we can go back inside the camper, we have to pull this out so we have access to where it goes. Pull it out about halfway. So now you can see how it's kind of set up, and we're going to put it inside. And we're going to lay it right there. Now, we can't push this all the way in yet because we have to take these, put these inside here, and we have to undo this one next. So once again, push the canvas in, making sure the canvas is out of the way, using your back to bring up on these two poles. There's two more poles under there that have to be removed, but we can't do that until we lift up on this just a little bit and gently slide this back in all the way. Now, slide that back out a little bit. These posts go back in this bag. And these posts are marked back and front. This is the back, the front is up by the tongue. So now we open up our door, and then we can gently set these. I usually set them inside the cushions. Close the door. Now we can push back in. Make sure your canvas is out of the way. We can push in this one now. Nice and slow, not to snag anything. Making sure the canvas is clear. Now we can take this canvas that we pulled back out and push it back in to start to bring it down. So we're going to go ahead and use this crank, which is going to go right in here. And we're going to very gently, so you slowly bring this down. Ever so often stopping to push your canvas in. This usually helps with a couple people walking around while you're tearing it down or rolling it down. So you get about here, and then you can just kind of roll this up underneath, walking around again, making sure everything's kind of out of its way. Then you're going to take this down to right about there, and you walk around and you tuck everything in. Make sure everything's clear here, which it is. Put that up underneath. This ensures you get a good seal so you're not getting any water damage. And then you go ahead and just bring it all the way the rest down. Now you can go around and lock it. Alright, so now that you're done with this one, you can bring it over. And we usually just lay it right inside here. Now it's okay to use this one. So we're going to go ahead and crank these up. You just got to go around to all four. Stop.